While I was in Europe sending money home, my parents told my kids I was a junkie who abandoned them for drugs. They made them beg on the streets while wearing signs that said, "Our father is a monster." My daughter was assaulted. My son was starved. And when the police found them, my parents said, "We don't know these bastards." I went nuclear, and I started crafting something cold, calculated, and huge: revenge. Yesterday it was set in motion. Now they're wailing, "What did you do? You're destroying the family." Hey everyone, before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so IDK if this is going to get buried or whatever, but I gotta get this out because I'm actually losing my mind right now. And NGL, I need to hear from someone who doesn't share my last name for once. Lol. So yeah, it's long, but I'll try to keep it readable. I was in Europe the last 8 months. Not for fun, just grinding. Sending basically everything I made home for my kids. Brinley's 10, Dominic's 8, both with me after the divorce because their mom just dipped. Different story. Don't ask. Not the point. My folks live a couple hours from my old place and we're always going off about how family sticks together, how they'd help, how it's what real parents do, blah blah. They made it sound like I was doing them a favor, letting them make school runs and all that. I got talked into it, TBH. My mom basically made it sound like I was being selfish if I didn't let them help. She even got my Aunt Jane involved, texting me that I was making things harder than they had to be, and kids need stability. And I admit I caved because I wanted my kids to have a home base, and I couldn't do that from a continent away. So yeah, I moved them in with my parents, sent money every week, did all the calls, checked in every other day. I felt guilty from the jump, but I told myself it was just dad guilt and not something actually wrong. First weird thing, my dad started asking me, "Do you even remember what Brinley likes to eat anymore?" And Dominic is so different these days. Hope you remember his birthday. He gets sad if you don't. Like, why wouldn't I remember my own kid's birthday? I just brushed it off. Figured they were being dramatic for attention. But then the kids started missing calls. And when I did get them, it was always on speaker with my mom in the background, or they'd say they were busy and couldn't talk. Brinley would just say hi and then get off. I told myself it was school stress, or maybe I was just overthinking it, because my parents have always been a lot. Like my dad's one of those people who thinks he's the only one who actually cares about family, but also manages to turn everything into a lecture. He's never liked how I do things, TBH. Always says I don't try hard enough or don't appreciate how hard he worked. It's like he's always trying to prove I'll fail if I do things my way. My mom's just as bad, but she hides it more. All that fake nice stuff that you know is going to blow up in your face when you least expect it. So anyway, I keep sending money, and every time I ask about the kids' clothes or if they need new shoes or whatever, my mom's like, "Oh, they're fine. Don't worry, we got them covered." It's always, "Don't stress yourself, Colton, we're managing." Then things just got weirder. Like I'd see my mom posting random family is everything quotes on Facebook with these super pointed comments. And sometimes she'd tag me, sometimes not. I figured she was just being passive aggressive because I hadn't come home yet. Honestly, I was stretched thin, but I was planning to come back as soon as the contract ended. I even got Brinley a used Switch for her birthday, sent it with a note, and my mom texted me, "Nice gesture, but you should just focus on coming home. They need you." Then last week, my sister Monica, she's younger than me, doesn't really talk to our parents much, kind of the black sheep, DM'd me a screenshot from some local Facebook group. Pic's blurry, but it's 2 kids dirty, standing by a gas station holding up these cardboard signs. And the signs, I swear one of them says, "Our father is a monster," and the other says, "We have nothing because of him." I stared at it for like 5 minutes, just stuck. I texted Monica, "Where is this? Are you sure that's them?" She just wrote back, "I'm driving over, call me." I tried calling my parents, straight to voicemail. Tried again. I was freaking out, NGL. So I just started packing. Didn't wait for a ticket with a layover, just dropped cash on whatever would get me home fastest. Didn't tell anyone, texted Monica that I was on my way. Whole flight I'm doom scrolling, just going over every convo with my parents in my head, trying to figure out what I missed. I thought maybe it's just a misunderstanding. Maybe someone's playing a sick joke, IDK. Landed and went straight to my parents' place. House looks the same from the street, but the windows are dark, mailbox is stuffed, and there's a weird smell from the trash bins. I knock. Nothing. I let myself in with my old key. No one's there. The kitchen's empty except for some dirty dishes, and there's a giant pile of unopened mail on the counter. I go looking for the kids' stuff. Brinley's backpack is in the garage, dumped next to a pile of old coats. There's a sleeping bag rolled up right there. At this point, I'm pissed. I call Monica again. She picks up and just goes, "They're with me. I found them." She gives me her address. So I drive over, barely pay attention to the road. When I get there, Brinley's sitting on the couch curled up with her knees to her chest, and Dominic's just picking at a piece of bread. Monica opens the door. She looks pissed, like she's been fighting someone. She tells me she found them outside the gas station, both crying, some creep trying to buy them snacks and asking too many questions. She says she got there just in time. Then she tells me, "You need to hear what they've been through." I sit down and Brinley starts talking, but she's quiet, barely above a whisper. She says Grandma told them I went to Europe because I didn't want them anymore, that I was hooked on stuff. She says Grandpa made them write those signs and stand outside. And when they tried to go home, he locked the door, told them to find someone else to take care of them if they were so unhappy. Dominic says he was hungry for days, only got food if Grandma brought something out, and sometimes it was just dry cereal. Brinley says a guy tried to grab her arm, but Monica showed up and started yelling, so he ran off. I'm sitting there just listening, and I can't even react. Monica's pissed. She says she called the cops when she found them, but when they called my parents, my mom told them she didn't know who the kids were and hung up. The cops didn't do anything except tell Monica to keep them for now. Brinley starts to cry, and I just sit next to her, put my arm around her, but she won't look at me. Dominic says he wants to go home, but he doesn't know where home is anymore. I call my parents, and this time my dad answers. He goes off about how I abandoned my kids, how I chose money over family, how maybe now I'll think twice about running away from my responsibilities. I lose it. I tell him to meet me at their church, because I'm done playing around. So we go. Monica drives us, the kids in the back seat. My parents are there acting like nothing's wrong, talking to people in the lot. I walk up and my dad tries to hug Dominic. Dominic just backs away and my dad's face goes red. My mom tries to pull Brinley in, but Monica steps between them, tells her to back off. I tell everyone what happened. I don't care who hears. I say exactly what they did. Say they lied to my kids, made them beg, left them outside, told the cops they weren't family. My dad says I'm unstable and making a scene. Someone from the church tries to get in the middle, but Monica just says, "Ask the kids yourself." My mom starts crying, but I don't care anymore. I tell them they're done. I tell them to get ready, because I'm not letting this go. My dad tries to step up, but Monica shoves him back, says if he touches any of us again, she'll call the cops herself. He slaps a folding chair and storms off. My mom slams the car door and sits inside just staring at me. Update 1. So yeah, here's the next part. And if you read my first post, you already know my head's still spinning. If you didn't, just know my folks went nuclear on me and my kids, and I'm not the forgive and forget type. First weird thing. After that church blow-up, I noticed my mom started posting even more family quotes on Facebook, like with those dead-eyed stock photos. Plus, it's always some BS about forgiveness, and family doesn't turn its back no matter what they've done. But I'm not even tagged anymore. And people from church started DMing me stuff like, "Hope you get help and your parents are worried sick about the kids." So I'm like, okay, they're clearly spinning some story. Monica's letting me and the kids stay at her apartment, which is crowded as hell and not made for 3 extras. But she's the only one who even tried to help. She's been mad since we were kids. Always got shafted. My parents never liked how she talked back, called her difficult. Now she's just quietly angry. Like she's not surprised, but she's tired of being the one who fixes things. It's awkward as hell. And I hate feeling like a charity case, but Brinley won't sleep unless she's in the same room as Monica. And Dominic won't eat unless someone else is eating too. I'm trying to keep it together, but not gonna lie, I'm starting to get that twitchy, can't sit still anger that makes me snap at random stuff. My parents have not called me once, not to apologize, not to explain, nothing. Instead, I start getting calls from my Aunt Jane, who barely even knows what state I live in. She's saying stuff like, "Your parents are heartbroken. They just wanted what's best. Nobody's perfect, Colton. Maybe you should get some help." I hang up. Then Brinley comes to me holding an old receipt she found in her backpack. It's got my dad's writing, his weird slanty numbers. I read it, and it's for a dinner, like $100, and it's my name on the card. Only problem? I never ate there. I check my bank app, same date, same charge, and like 10 more I don't recognize. All around my hometown. So now I'm digging. Turns out my parents were using my money for their own stuff. Takeout, some home improvement place, even a cruise deposit. No joke. I know because I called the bank and they sent me a list. I ask Monica and she just rolls her eyes and says, "Of course they did. Why do you think they were so eager to help?" Then I find out they didn't just blow my money. They were telling everyone in our family group chat that I was off in Europe doing God knows what, and they were sacrificing everything to raise my kids. A couple of my cousins start DMing me being like, "Bro, what's going on? Your mom said you're in rehab." So I go full receipts mode. I start with my cousin Frederick. He's always been reasonable, kind of a peacemaker. So I lay it all out. Here's the deposits. Here's the texts. Here's the fake charges. Show him the crap my mom texted. He's like, "Damn, I knew things were weird, but I didn't think they'd just lie." He says he'll talk to some of the others. Then I go to Aunt Jane's house. I bring Monica and the kids. Jane tries to play it off saying, "Your mom's just worried. That's all. You should try to be more grateful." I tell her, "Go ask Brinley what Grandma made her do." Brinley just stares at the floor and says, "Grandma said Daddy was never coming back." And then makes a little sign with her hands. Jane goes silent and turns away. After that, I start making the rounds. Every single person in my family who ever got a prayer request from my parents about my addiction gets the same talk. Some of them believe me, some of them don't. A couple of them get mad like, "How dare I accuse my parents of lying? They're good people." But I keep at it. Here's the thing. My parents were using my kids to get money out of people, not just family. Turns out, they'd posted on local Facebook groups, neighborhood apps, even the church Discord asking for help with emergency expenses. I start messaging people, sending screenshots, explaining what actually happened. I can't force anyone to do anything, but I make damn sure nobody's giving them a cent without knowing the full story. The neighbors start avoiding them. I hear from a dude who works at the gas station. He says my dad yelled at him for spreading rumors and shoved him. The guy just walked away. My parents start calling Monica, leaving voicemails saying I'm destroying the family, that I'm turning everyone against them. Monica puts them on speaker and just lets the kids hear it. They don't say anything, but I can tell it makes them uncomfortable. Then at the grocery store, my mom tries to pull Brinley aside and talk to her. Monica's there. She sees it, pulls Brinley away and tells my mom not to touch her. My mom slaps her arm and says, "You're poisoning my grandchildren. You're just jealous." Monica shoves her back and walks out. After that, I block my parents everywhere. I tell everyone who calls, I'm done. Don't bother. I'm not taking their calls. I'm not listening to their excuses. I make sure the church knows. I go to their stupid coffee hour and tell the pastor, "You need to know what my parents did." Pastor just nods and says, "We'll pray for you." I ask him to stop letting my parents collect donations for my kids. That gets their attention. Next, I check the community boards. The GoFundMe links my parents set up. I report them all, not out of spite, but because I'm not letting them use my kids for sympathy money ever again. I post an update with my real name saying, "Don't give money to anyone claiming to be helping my family. If you want to help, message me directly." It's like watching dominoes fall. My parents start getting nasty texts from people they thought were friends. The church stops inviting them to events. The neighbor across the street stops saying hi. Then they show up at Monica's, just standing out front for like an hour, yelling about how I've ruined everything, how I need to make this right. I tell them, "You can stand out here all day. I'm not letting you in." My dad tries to push past me. I block the door. He shoves me. I shove him back. He calls me a junkie, says I'm not fit to be a dad. I say at least I don't abandon my kids on the street. He slams his fist on the porch rail and storms off. My mom follows, crying, yelling that I'll be sorry when I have no family left. Honestly, I don't care anymore. I tell Monica we're done playing nice. I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly what they did. She just nods and says, "About time." Brinley's watching from the window. I see her face, and I swear I'm not letting them ever get near her or Dominic again. So yeah, if my parents want to see what it's like to lose everything, I'm happy to show them. Next step's coming. They have no idea how cold I can be. I'm not stopping till they know exactly what it feels like. Update 2. So yeah, if you've kept up, you know my parents went out of their way to nuke my life and then act like the victims, and I already started blowing up their little scam bubble. Honestly, thought things would chill out a little once people stopped sending them money and the church folks started giving them side-eye. But nah, apparently some people just double down when they get called out. It started with my mom posting these weird little stories on her Facebook, like not even tagging me anymore. Just ranting about ungrateful children and lies that destroy families. I left it up, figured it just made her look sad. But then I started getting screenshots from people I barely even talk to anymore. Old classmates, neighbors, folks from way back. They're all saying stuff like, "Are you okay? Is it true your sister's manipulating you? Your mom says you're dangerous now." That's when I realized my parents weren't just mad. They were in full-on attack mode. It got real stupid, real fast. Monica's work called her in for a chat after someone left a voicemail saying she was harboring her brother's abused children and might be involved in something illegal. It didn't take much to figure out who made the call. Monica just shrugged and said, "Let them come check. I got nothing to hide." But I could see she was pissed. She's always hated drama, hates being dragged into stuff that's not hers. But she's not the type to just roll over. Me, I'm tired, but I'm not backing down. Not after what they did to my kids. Then my dad started coming around our apartment building, just standing by the parking lot. Sometimes with my mom, sometimes by himself. Not saying anything, not even looking up, just standing there like he's waiting for me to come out and beg for forgiveness or something. The first time it happened, Monica called me from the balcony and said, "Your dad's here. You want me to call the cops?" I said, "Nah, let him stand out there. But if he tries anything, we're not being nice." He left after a while, but then I started getting notes shoved under the door, just little rants about how I'm breaking the family and turning everyone against us. I threw them away. So this is where it gets real. I heard through Frederick. He's the only cousin still talking to me at this point. And even he's like, "Dude, this is over the top, that my parents are trying to sell their house. Not just talk. They actually put it up for sale, trying to get out before their rep tanks any harder." I guess they figured they could start over somewhere else. New church, new neighbors, whatever. Except they're desperate, and desperate people make mistakes. I knew the real estate agent. Used to go to school with her. Not close. Just one of those people everyone knows. I didn't want to start drama with her, so I just texted, "Hey, you should know there's some weird stuff going on with that property. Maybe ask around." She asks what I mean, so I sent her the local news post about my kids being found at the gas station, plus some of the GoFundMe links. Didn't say anything else. Just dropped it in her lap and told her to do what she wanted. Next thing I hear, the sale's off. My parents tried to go after the agent, yelling at her in the driveway. My mom crying. My dad trying to corner her. She calls the cops. They show up and tell my parents to leave her alone. The deposit's gone. Their new place is gone. And now they're stuck. Monica's been keeping all the voicemails, every weird message, every time my parents show up and try to talk to the kids. She put one of those little chain locks on the door and told Brinley, if Grandma or Grandpa knocks, you don't open it. You call me or your dad. Brinley just nods, not really saying much anymore. And Tiba, I'm worried about her, but what am I supposed to do? Therapy takes forever to get into and I'm still on the wait list. My dad tried to corner Dominic in the hallway once, just grabbed his shoulder and started talking at him about how daddies who abandon their kids always regret it. Dominic just pulled away and ran back inside. Monica called me at work, said she almost called the cops but didn't, and I told her, next time, do it. The weirdest part is how fast people turn. Like one day, the neighbor across the hall is all, your poor parents, and the next week, she's avoiding them in the parking lot. A couple people from church stopped Monica at the grocery store to say, sorry, we didn't know. And Monica just shrugged and kept walking. But my parents don't give up. They started calling my phone from random numbers, even tried texting Brinley on her old phone that I hadn't even activated again. I blocked every number, told everyone not to answer if it's a weird call. Then, and I wish this was a joke, my parents tried to get Brinley and Dominic to come to their place just for a talk. They sent a cousin to ask, like they thought I'd just say yes because it was someone else asking. I said no chance, and told the cousin, don't get in the middle. You don't know half of it. She just stared at me like she was finally getting it, but also like she didn't want to know. The final straw for me was when Brinley finally said, I want to tell them I never want to see them again. She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She just said it. So I called my parents and told them, Brinley and Dominic are done. You're not family anymore. Don't try to contact us. My dad tried to talk over me, but I just hung up. I told Monica, that's it. I'll take whatever fallout comes next. She just nodded, said, good. So now my parents are stuck in a house they can't sell. Nobody in the family will give them money. Church won't let them run their donation skin scams anymore. And every time they try to talk their way out of it, someone brings up what they did to my kids. My mom's still posting little quotes about forgiveness and family means everything. But nobody's liking her stuff anymore. My dad just gets mad and yells at people, but nobody cares. Honestly, I don't feel bad. Not even a little. They made it clear a long time ago that the only thing they care about is being right. They never respected me. My whole life, they've tried to prove that I'd screw up and they'd have to save me. So I guess when I didn't, they had to create their own crisis. Now they get to live in the mess they make. I know this isn't over. Not really. People like them don't just back down. But I'm not backing down either. I made sure there's no coming back for them. Not with me, not with my kids, not with anyone who actually matters. Next step's already in motion. They'll see just how cold I can be when they mess with the only people I care about. And if they want to cry about it, let them. I'm just getting started. Final update. Been a minute. TBH, I almost didn't post again because I thought it would feel pointless. But after what happened yesterday, I just need to get it all out. I guess I thought I'd feel something different by now. Relief, guilt, whatever. But nah, I just feel done. People keep telling me I should find peace or try to heal or whatever. No one who says that has had parents like mine. I promise you. Anyway, so the weirdest part is how quiet it got after I told my parents never to contact us again. Like dead quiet. No texts, no calls, nothing shoved under Monica's door. I kept thinking it was the calm before the storm. And yeah, I was right. It started with a text from my dad, just the word why. Then one from my mom, all caps. What did you do? You're destroying the family. I didn't answer either, because what do you even say to people like that? But I wasn't surprised. I already knew what the fallout would look like. So here's how it went down. They tried to fix things with the church leadership, showed up at the building on a weekday, tried to get the pastor to let them talk at the next service. Monica heard from an old friend that my mom basically started crying in the lobby saying her kids abandoned her and she was being persecuted. The pastor just told them, you need to sort your family issues out elsewhere, and that's it. My dad slammed the office door and stormed out. Then I started hearing from people I hadn't talked to in years. My uncle called, which was wild because we haven't had a real convo since I was like 17. He tries to get me to be the bigger man and says, you know your dad's pride can't take much more of this. I told him, stay out of it. Jane, aunt, tried the same thing, but I shut her down fast. No one really wanted to hear details. They just wanted me to fix it so it would stop being awkward. I think that's when I realized I was finally past caring about upsetting these people. The next thing was the money. My parents started calling everyone they ever loaned $20 to, asking for it back. They tried to get Frederick to front them a few hundred. He called me, asking if he should do it. I said if you want to lose it, go ahead, but don't expect a thank you. He just sighed and said, yeah, I figured. My parents tried to sell some old stuff online, furniture, collectibles, even my old gaming console that I never got back after high school. They posted it all on Marketplace and the local buy-sell groups. People would show up, see who was selling, and just leave. I guess word gets around. Then it got messy with the house. They finally got a buyer, but the sale took forever. And by then, everyone knew about the situation. They lost money on it. Plus, they had to pay off some debts that my dad racked up. No idea what half of it was even for. That's when the calls started up again. Not just to me, but to Monica, to Brinley's old school, even to Dominic's old soccer coach, just ranting about how I was ruining the family name and making everything harder than it needed to be. Coach just texted me, "Hey, you okay? Your folks seem really upset." I told him the short version. He just said, "Damn, sorry. Let me know if you need anything." The last real face-to-face was at Monica's place. My parents showed up, both of them, and started banging on the door. Dominic was playing games in the living room and jumped up. Monica told the kids to go to her room and shut the door. I opened the door but blocked the entry. My dad tried to push past me, saying he just wanted to see his grandkids. I told him, "You're not welcome here." He got loud, started shouting about how I was a junkie and a thief. So I shoved him back, and Monica stepped in between us. My mom tried to slap Monica but missed, just hit the wall. Monica yelled at her to leave. My dad slammed the stairwell door and stomped off, Mom following, still yelling. Neighbors came out to watch. Of course. I just stood there until they were gone, then locked the door. No one said anything for a while. Dominic poked his head out, asked if it was over. I told him, "Yeah, it's over." After that, nothing. My parents left town. I think someone said they're staying at a motel. I don't care. I told Monica, if they show up again, just call the cops. I'm not doing this anymore. People keep asking if I feel bad. I don't. They made every choice themselves. They always wanted to be in control, to prove I couldn't handle my own life. When I did, they had to tear it down just so they could be the heroes. When that didn't work, they tried to destroy me for real. I'm not sorry for anything I did. They lost everything because they earned it. I got the kids into a tiny 2-bedroom that's barely big enough for us, but it's ours. Brinley still has nightmares. Dominic still asks about Grandma sometimes. But we're good. I'm tired, but I'm not broken. I'm not forgiving, and I'm not forgetting. Last night I got a text from my dad. "What did you do?" I laughed and deleted it. That's it. If you're reading this and thinking, I went too far, maybe you're right. But if you ever had parents who tried to break you just to prove themselves right, you get it. I warn them now. They know what it feels like to lose everything. And if anyone tries to tell me I need to fix things, I just block them. I'm not sorry, and I don't care who knows it.